Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for hanging out here today. I'm Tina Marie St.Cyr, and it's so great to be together. I wanted to take you on a journey today on my life as a professional life coach. So this may resonate with you. Maybe you are a life coach and you'd like to learn some new trade secrets of someone who's been doing this for 15 years, or you're investigating the possibility of becoming a coach, and you can also glean some things from today's time together. So again, thank you so much. It's always great to be with you. I know that you have plenty choices to make on who goes in your mind and between the ears, and I hold gratitude for our time together. Thank you so much. So I wasn't always a coach. I started out in my career, started in my internship with a major natural gas company. And that was out of a business degree, a BBA at the University of Houston. And I got recruited into Dynegy. They became Dynegy. They went through a couple name changes. I was the 147th employee of this growing, what you would consider a startup. And it was right after the deregulation of natural gas. And they were wanting to get some really great A-team players on board and then groom us. So in starting in corporate America, that was my programming. That was where my parents said, go get a degree. And of course, my professors and mentors within the university said, then you go into a job. And I was, fulfilling what was great. It was along the path. Learned a ton. I loved my work at Dynegy. I grew within the ranks all the way up into, helping the directors and the executives with help desks and understanding strategy. And so my 9+ years there were very productive. And I learned a ton. At the same time, there was still this burning desire inside of me of entrepreneurialism. And so that never quieted. On the side, whenever I was in my 20s and in corporate America, I did have some side gigs. So I started a company called The Workstation, where we would go into doctors' offices and lawyers' offices and, different various types of physicians and put in networking systems, computers, and train their staff on, this is a long time ago, on Lotus Notes and understanding WordPerfect. So yeah, I don't even know if those programs still exist. Anyway, that's what I did. And I was the person that maintained their systems and would go out there during my lunch breaks or before work or even after work and on weekends to take care of them. So I share that because there was this entrepreneurial spirit inside of me that never died. And yes, I had my corporate career, and yes, I loved it. And yes, I made a ton of connections and really understood corporate and how it works, at a young person's age. I'm not saying I knew everything. I just knew what I knew, and realized 9 years in, raising 2 kids, and I had just had my second child, Maddie, I wanted more freedom. I wanted more time freedom. I wanted more ability to create wealth freedom because I was burning the candle at both ends, working my entrepreneurial jobs and then also my corporate job and raising, at that time, my son was 2.5 and a new baby, right? So there was something that had to give. Now, could I have stayed in corporate America and simply, played that out? Of course, that is not a bad way to go. Yet there was a part inside of me that would have not been satisfied. There was this part of me that wanted to build and create and have that freedom. And, you're listening, and I know you have this too. We attract creators here at Light Your Life. We attract people that want more. And so I want to share with you that just something here that it's not a travesty or wrong. You don't need to make excuses for it or even seek permission for it. If there's that longing inside of you that wants more, that you can bring more, grow more, contribute more, you want to connect to more people, you want to expand, it's inside of you. I had it too, right? And so at that time, I decided I'm going to put in my resignation. I needed to leap into something of an unknown, really didn't know what it was. I just knew that where I wasn't it. Now, truth be known, I was married to my children's father, and we had income. So at that point in my life, I didn't simply leap out of a career into the unknown without a plan. we had a financial plan. And my husband at the time said, go for it. I get that you're not satisfied and happy where you are, and you're putting in a ton of energy. So where can we find some life balance, right? So I put in my resignation, one of the happiest days of my life, and then set off to, well, what do I want next? And this is a burning question inside of all of us, and it's never going to be satisfied. I just want you to know that what do I want next? Question will never be satisfied. Isn't that cool? And so I decided, do I want to go back into school and get another degree? Where do I want to focus? And at that time, my husband and I had a firm, and it was a consulting firm. So he asked me to come in and do what I already did in corporate, is to do some strategic analysis, find out where the growth is in the marketplace. What can we do to cultivate what already has been birthed within? It was Blueware was the company at the time. And where do we grow it? What would be strategic, essential, efficient? And so I did that. And I presented to him my thoughts. At the same time, I was brushing up on my programming skills, becoming a SQL programmer and a PeopleSoft SQR programmer, and understanding more of the primary data systems that the consulting firm worked with, because I love growing. I love learning, right? I'm sure you do too. And then I got pitched into working on a massive project, and I loved it. So it was business development, and then I had a piece of sales, right? And so I'm like, well, how can I expand this? And so in Blueware, for 10 years, I was the vice president. Of course, it's a title, right? So basically what I did, I helped with all business development strategy, doing presentations, making proposals, doing hiring, managing the office, all the way from supplies to payroll to understanding the general ledger. Where are we? What's our COA, chart of accounts? How are we going to grow this puppy? And what are our margins, the profit margins, what lines of business we're being able to afford greater profit margins? Were we competitive within the marketplace? So all these things happen. Like I said, over a 10-year period, we grew that company from about 800K to close to 10 million. So, and opened offices and expanded and hired amazing talent and had great projects with the FDIC, the state of New York, the state of Texas, Houston Metro, massive companies. And it was an awesome run. Loved it. Now, at the same time, what am I also doing? I'm getting my master's. So maybe I'm a glutton for what other people may consider pain, but I'm always the sponge of absorption. Like, where else am I being called to grow and contribute? Who am I becoming? And so I'm raising 2 kids, going for my Ph.D., and helping to run a massive organization that was just growing by leaps and bounds, doing presentations all over the nation, landing these amazing, multi-million-dollar gigs for our firm. It was just so much fun. For a short stint, I was on the Republican Advisory Committee and went to George Sr.'s inauguration. That was a wonderful time in Washington, D.C., and participating in different panels and understanding small business. So, and part of YEO, Young Entrepreneurs Organization. And so this season of my life was full. It was rich. It was abundant. And, sometimes the course of our life goes into different directions than we had ever planned. So the blueprint of my life wasn't to have what was in my destiny just a few years later, which was a divorce from my children's father. It was a choice, and we go through choices, and we may not know what the other side holds, but we follow that instinct, that innate intelligence. It's like, oh, there's got to be movement. There's got to be something here. And so that was part of my journey, right? Part of our family's journey, honestly. It affects all of us. And on the other side of that, then I had that burning question again. Well, what's next? What's next? There was so much possibility. And so I considered, because that entrepreneurial spirit did not want to die. It's like, let's go create something. Let's build another company. Let's go have some fun. Oh, and I even forgot to tell you, in that whole span of running Blueware, having 2 kids, getting my master's, going for my PhD, I also ran clinics, optimal health consulting, and integrative medical practice, where we did modalities like light blood microscopy, dark field microscopy, biotrain analysis, things of that nature. So there's this other part of me that had another company, right? It's life. It's life expressing itself, growing itself in and through us. And so here I am post-divorce. I had let go of the holistic, optimal health consulting clinics, and my radio show was still going well, Holistic Living with Tina Marie. And I kept the radio show going because I love the audience. I love the format. Radio is such a beautiful modality to reach people. And here podcasting is next, right? Podcasting birthed out of the radio industry and the ability to go global online. And so at this juncture of my life, still wanting to create, right? I sat with myself. I actually went on a 2-week vacation, and just to get away and find out what's next for me. And with that internal dialogue, went inside and really asked my higher powers, my God, to presence me, find out where you want me to be. And this is a prayer that I've always had in my life. I mean, I don't even remember where it came from and how young I was, but it's something that innately I think on a very frequent basis. And then I'll even say it verbally. It's, God, please use me. Allow me to be your eyes. Allow me to be your hands. Allow me to be the body of you within our world, to experience what you would have experienced here, and put me where you want me to be. Use me, put me where you want me to be. And so I was in that conversation internally. I investigated having a lingerie line because, that'd be fun, right? I investigated having kiosks, even red boxes. Back then, there were new franchises around healthy living and healthy food. I investigated that. I investigated, forming my own bank, because that was something I was interested in from a financial standpoint, and understanding the baking and how do you finance yourself and all of your endeavors, which, that's another show we can unpack. And then I went to church one day. It was my 40th birthday. I went to church. It's a Sunday. And there in front, there was a guest speaker that day. Never met this lady before. And she was talking about the season of your own becoming. That wherever you are, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like life is not all that it could be, that you have that hunger for more. I remember her just lighting something inside of me on fire. And she spoke into my soul, and she said, you need to go for it. Whatever it is, you need to, push aside any doubts and simply go for that which is calling within you. I didn't know exactly what it was. I simply knew it was there. Sometimes we need to breathe onto the fire to stoke it, to have it grow. And she was offering a women's retreat. And that weekend, I didn't have any plans. And so I said, let's do it. So I went to a women's retreat and continued under her tutelage of the next possibilities of life, just listening, right? Just listening to what was possible. And then one of her cohorts, her business partner, Karen, came up to me afterwards. I had been participatory through that entire women's retreat weekend. And she came up to me and she said, are you a life coach? And I didn't even know what that term was. Now, this was a long time back. This was like 15 years ago. Like, I didn't, what? Huh? A life coach? What's that? I don't know what that is. I know what softball coaches are. I know what track coaches are. I know what football coaches are. I don't know what a life coach is. And so she gave me a couple words around that. And she said, with all your experience and everything that you've done and what you've built, if you have not yet considered becoming a coach, let me tell you more about it. And that particular weekend, the very next weekend, actually is the next Thursday. So just 4 days away, there was a coach's certification training for Life Mastery University in California. Now, I'm a planner. I like to have things on my calendar. I like to literally, at one point in my life, I was planned out a whole year, probably a year and a half. If I really go back to that time in my life, I was a planner extraordinaire, planning family vacations, time away, understanding what I'm going to be doing Monday through Friday. I mean, to the detail. And it worked. It worked for me. So here is a new season of my life. I'm post-divorce. The kids are with dad. And I've got this invitation to go to a training in California and become certified as a life coach. I leapt at it. I'm like, what the hey? Let's go for it. So, how do you know that the season of life is agreeing with you? Is that you get upgraded the whole way. So, the next day, I got money in the bank, threw a check in the mail that paid for the entire thing. I mean, like it was a tax refund that was due me. I didn't even know it was in the mail. I didn't know it was even coming to me. It was like totally out of the blue. And the trip was paid for. The whole certification was paid for with this money that came in. Then what was really cool is as soon as I booked my flight, when I get to the airport on that Thursday, they upgraded me to first class. They upgraded my hotel that day. They upgraded my car that day. Whenever I got to the hotel and they upgraded me to an upper level room that day, I went into a freaking suite. I was like, whoa, talk about VIP. So how do you know you're on track? When the universe opens up the red carpet. And I was getting the red carpet completely opened up like no other time in my life. So does that get your attention? Hell yeah. I was like, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening a really great way here. So that became part of my journey, right? This opening up into life coaching. So that was the first training that I received. Now, something that came out of that, like right at the very end of that training, which was ending, I believe, on a Monday, I remember thinking to myself, and I don't think it was my thought. I think the universe planted the seed in my head. And it said, if you're going for this, you need to fill your book of business immediately. Now, I had a lot of connections, right? I'd come out of corporate. I'd run my own business. I had a lot of connections. But then you have to go have that conversation with people that don't know you as a life coach. They don't even know what life coaching was. So how do you explain this? And then how do you get somebody on board with you, right? So I woke up this one morning. I remember I was at breakfast and I'm thinking, I have to fill my book of business today. I have to fill my book of business today because if I do not have gravity and movement in the direction of my dreams, it will become just, it's going to fall in the fire and turn into ashes. It's going to not have momentum after this certification that I have. I knew inside of me inherently something called to me like, take action now. So I'm on the phone at every break we get. I'm texting people. I'm emailing them. I filled my first mastermind before I got to the airport that day. I want you guys to hear that. Take massive action toward your dreams. So I get back and we started that mastermind Wednesday morning. I met with these wonderful executives. Our mastermind met at 6:30 a.m. We ended at 8 a.m. and they're off to work. They've already got their study in. We were crushing it. And I had an entire mastermind full of paying clients, right? So if you are a life coach now and you do not have a full book of business, what's a full book of business even look like? What do you mean by that, T? A full book of business means that you know exactly your budget. What do you want to make? And I'm going to start you out. You're going to want to make your monthly nut because most of us start with the certainty of I need to pay the bills. And I am totally on board with that. Yes, you do. You need to pay the bills. Do not go into debt to start your own company, right? That mindset of I've got to go into debt to start my own company is an excuse mindset. And it gives you too much of a net beneath you that you rely on again and again and again. So what do you need to have to crush it in your business, right? To crush it in your business. So what is your budget? What do you need? And then amp that up by 30%. So let's say, for instance, you need, 1,000. I'm just going to round, right? I know none of us live on $1,000 a month. In fact, let me get out my handy calculator. It's my favorite app on my phone. By the way, I'm always doing it. If you ask my wife what I'm addicted to, it's calculating things on my calculator. You ask her, she'll go, what are you calculating? What are you calculating? I'm always doing that. So we're going to take 5,000, that would be like what you want to make per month, right? And then times that by 1.3 because you're going to go 30% higher because we need to push beyond what comfort is. And so that's 6,500 a month. So for people starting out, that could be a lot. They're going, I don't know how to make that much money. So we have a episode on how do you value yourself and what's your value to the market. If you haven't not listened to that one yet, go listen to it. What's your value? You need to understand your value. and how much you're going to help the person in front of you, right? So I knew exactly what I needed to make. I knew exactly the people that I wanted in there. I asked for the money, and they're like, yeah, sounds great. Let's do it. Bob Proctor told me once at a dinner, I was talking to him about the concerns I had about fees and how to price myself. I remember I was such a baby coach. And he said, the price is never a problem for the client. The price is always a problem for the salesperson. Mind blow. And so the price is never a problem for your client, because as soon as you know your value and your resonance within your voice and your mind, if your heart and soul is totally understanding that you're going to be able to take your client from where they are to where they need to be, and you're that guide through that process, it's totally worth what you're asking for, right? So that's one thing I'd say. To be a successful coach, you need to absolutely stand by your value and stop discounting yourself. No discounts, no freebies. No, okay, there's just once, I'll discount. No. And if you're coaching friends, that put a big cross. If you're watching this, I've got a big cross in front of that. Like, don't do it. Don't coach friends. Don't coach friends. Don't coach family. Don't do it. Just don't. So I do coach my wife's team right now because she begged me, please, because she sees the results that I have with all the other clients that I have, my business clients. And she's like, I want you to do this for my business, please. She literally cried and begged me. And that was after us being, together 9 years. So I'm coaching her crew this year. This is the first year I've ever coached her crew, and it's awesome. They are rocking it. They are totally rocking it. So I am a full-time coach. I have been a full-time coach, meaning all my money that I make in my life comes from coaching. It's either a product I've built, it's a book I've written and making money there, or it's coaching services, group coaching services, mastermind services. Everything I do right now, everything is around coaching, the coaching industry. So I say that because you can too. I bank over 180K to my pocketbook every year. Okay. That is just how I've built my business. The business is paying me, and I've built the business to have more coaches. So I got to the place in 2017 where it was a struggle. What was the struggle? The struggle was keeping up with the amount of clients I had. And isn't that a great struggle? It's a problem of luxury, as they say, right? So I had an amazing amount of clients. I love my clients, absolutely love my clients. And I had a wait list. You want to really amp up your coaching game and reach more people, put out there on your goal list that you want to have a wait list. You want to have a wait list of clients. You want to have a wait list of awesome, badass clients, right? You want to have a wait list, because as coaches, we only have so much time, right? And we want to keep it high quality, efficacy, wonderful things that our clients are gaining with us. And we know that private coaching can, one, be emotionally, pulling. It pulls at us. I don't use the word drain because I don't believe in that. I think we are infinitely sourced and supplied. Whenever we open ourselves up, there is no limit to us at all, ever. So yes, we want to be honoring of our time. And I also ask coaches to only coach people one-on-one for 2 days a week, 2.5 at the most, because there's other pieces of your business that you need to give attention to. There's the growing the list. Always be working on your pipeline. Always be working on your pipeline. I don't care how full you are. Always be working on your pipeline. Do not, because it's a muscle, right? It's like a muscle. If you stop using the muscle of networking, if you stop using the muscle of sales and bringing in new prospects, if you stop using the muscle of having that prospect conversation to get people enrolled into what you're doing, you're going to lose it. It's going to atrophy. And then you're going to wonder, well, where'd my little juice go? Well, it's because you need to keep it going. And so in 2017, I had, I think, about 43 people on my list of people that I was actively coaching at one time. Don't get me started. It was way too many people. way too many people. I have these rules now because I know what not to do, because I did the what not to do too long. And so my modalities, my strategies were effective and highly effective. I'm getting tons of 5-star reviews, getting tons of referrals. And so people wanted to know how they could also be coached by me. I was a soul coach, lone coach, like most of us are. And so using my consulting skills and understanding how to build a massive global consulting firm, I said, okay, we're going to build a massive global coaching firm. And so I documented my processes, strategies, tools, methods, documented them, brought on a coach, trained her. She got the results. It was going quite well. Brought on another coach, trained him. It was going pretty well. And then in the next 4 months, designed an entire academy around the same tools, strategies, methods, the modalities that I use with my clients, be it life coaching clients, business coaching clients, which I love, 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 career coaching clients. We get so many wonderful results with them, from startups to multi-million-dollar companies. These strategies, these toolkits, this entire method works, right? Produces the results, helps our client completely produce the results in so little time that sometimes we wonder, whoa, that was easy. Because the tools and the strategies work when you implement them and you think from a higher mind. And that's what it is. Whenever we move out of our lower mind, which is always thinking about lack, it simply does. It's worried about lack. It's worried about failure. It's worried about fear. And I'm sure you've read tons of books on this, but the modality that we have crushes it. It literally puts it to sleep and allows your higher mind to take over and be that mind that you're deciding with, making decisions from, moving forward with, checking in with, having goals set around, all these things, right? And so as a full-time coach, if this is where you want your career to go as a coach, and I really want this for you, if you are not yet a full-time coach, meaning that all the beauty and abundance of life is coming in through you giving your coaching services to other human beings, right? If you are sidelined to another job, if you've got a career over here and an employer, and you're doing it on the weekends or your lunch breaks or your before you go to work, or maybe you want to stay as a remote worker because there's a part of you also doing coaching, wherever you are. And even if you're full-time right now, but you took a pay cut from a job you had before, but you leapt into your love of coaching and you're like, it's okay. I can tighten the purse strings or the budget, and I can live on $30K a year. I can do that. And at least I'm pursuing my dream. I'm a life coach. I understand you. I empathize, and I completely give you a hug, because this world is full of people that need you. So here's what we do. This is what we do. Your life is your curriculum. We are not here to tell anybody what to do. We're here to guide them through, right? The other thing is, look to your life of the things that you've surmounted and overcome. What have you overcome? For me, one of the bigger things was the divorce. A bigger thing than that was an almost suicide. It's sometimes, in the past, it was embarrassing for me to say, and I didn't want to admit it. But the truth is, some of us get to that level of depression and it gets really serious. The reason why I understand how to speak of that now is because it was part of my journey, and it's a powerful part of my journey. Obviously, I'm still here. That voice inside did not win. Near bankruptcy at one point in our lives, then understanding how to surmount team changes. Like, I bring on coaches, train them, and help them grow. And, at times we assign clients to our coaches because our funnel is strong. And those coaches get to work with our clients, the bonfire clients. And so sometimes those things, you involve humans in any conversation, you're going to have some sticky parts, right? So some of those challenges are part of my story. They are my story. So whenever we overcome conflict, that is our growth game. That is our growth game. So reframe. Conflict is not conflict to keep us down. Conflict is there to grow us and have us push through, become more, learn fast, right? So as a coach, your life is your curriculum. Now, If your coaching practice gets to a place where it feels stale, you need to go challenge yourself. Get out of your own comfort zone. You've got to go pick up a new skill. You've got to leap into the unknown. You've got to go do something that completely scares the poop out of you, because what's going to happen there is that the universal abundance is going to watch you. It's going to say, yay, way to go for it. And it's going to reward you with clients. We're only ever 2 to 3 steps ahead of our perfect client. So if you're not growing, you will not get clients, right? That's how it works. It'll tap out. And if your energy is down, of course, you're going to tap out there. The universe doesn't want to give you more clients, because if your energy is low, you don't have the capacity. So as a full-time coach, as a coach, growth game, completely needed. Now connect to more people. Put yourself out there. Be courageous. Get to know them. Lead with curiosity. Who are you? What are you about? What are your goals? How are you doing with that? Have you ever thought about pairing with a coach to help you guide through that so you can get to those goals faster? What if you were able to get to that goal in 1 year as opposed to 2, or in 6 months as opposed to 12, or in 3 months as opposed to 6? What would it mean in your life to have those results now, tangible? You can see them, feel them, know them. Then what would your life turn into? Would you love to be a finisher or a starter? So these types of conversations you get to have with your future clients, right? So I want you to connect more. And then the next thing is I want you to understand your value. Your value is so fundamentally important to the people you're going to be working with. Do not sell yourself short, my dear coach. Push that envelope and focus. Focus on your skills, focus on your conversations, and aim. So currently in our practice, we see 50 plus people, and we have an amazing amount of amplitude, because I understand the capacity of where we're headed. And we're attracting amazing coaches all the time. They call Bonfire Coaching to say, hey, how can I learn your curriculums and your strategies and your toolkits? Because I want to get the same results with my clients. I want to take them to their next levels. I want life to be efficient and effortless for myself and my clients. I want to have fun at this, right? So if you're interested, go to bonfirecoaching.com and reach out. So being a full-time coach and, I coach 2 days a week, and I have 2 extra hours on Tuesday that I'm coaching, because my book of business got a little full. So I'm going to move it back down to coaching only 12, because that's my sweet spot. I know my sweet spot. I know that at the end of the day, I still have words left to go so I can converse with my spouse. And I also have energy left to go. And then my Mondays are my operations days. I meet with my teams. I meet with prospects. I meet with business partners and affiliates. And I'm doing some marketing and some planning there with my marketing team. And then Tuesdays are, more sales, business development. Maybe I'm pitching to a corporation, some trainings, things of that nature. And Wednesday, Thursday are my full on coaching days, right? Wednesday, Thursday. Then Friday I have off. No, so Friday's my decision of what I do with that day. Oftentimes I'm recording videos, podcasts, traveling. And so that's my week. It's really clean. And I keep my word to myself. I'm at work at 8:30 in the morning every morning, and I leave about 5:30 or 6. And I have consistency and persistency in who I am. And I love coaching. I'm a coach first. I love coaching. That is part of my destiny. It's who I am. I love guiding. I love seeing people absolutely celebrate their wins. Completely makes my heart sing. So hopefully this day helped you, this time together. I want you to take away some things. I want you to take away focus. If you're a coach, focus. Get a goal that scares the poop out of you and go for it. Connect with more people. Get your message out there. Understand who they are. Lead with curiosity. Measure your day. Chart your course. Only coach 2 days a week. Increase your value. Understand your price tag. Do not discount yourself at all. And know who you work with best. Only go for that. Don't spread yourself thin. You're not a floodlight. You're a laser. Okay? And love who you are. You are a coach first. If you're interested in becoming part of the Bonfire, you simply go to bonfirecoaching.com. We have some Bonfire Coaching Academy certifications that come up, every 3 to 4 months, and you can join us. and I'd love to meet you. I can't wait. It's so fun. And so thank you for your time and attention. Hopefully you took some things away from today that put you on fire for your profession, and then also allow you to understand how this profession, the coaching profession, can totally be your entire income and beyond for your lifestyle. No more settling, no more thinking of lack, no more thinking it's not going to work. You need to crush it. Go for it. I'm behind you. I completely support you, and I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Head over to bonfirecoaching.com for any more information that you would love, because we're always here for you in your corner. Make it a great day. Tina Marie, checking out.